Okay, so we are talking about the least of these that God chose, and one of these people it was David, Jeremiah, and Peter, and so we talked about them. But God calls Gideon, and the angel of the Lord appeared to Gideon and said to him, Adonai is with you, O mighty man of valor. God had brought them up out of the land of Egypt, out of bondage. God said, It was I who drove them out of the land before you and gave you their land. I told you, I am Adonai, your God. Do not fear the gods of the Amorites in whose land you are dwelling. But you have not obeyed me. So this is this back and forth story. The Israelites are disobedient. They don't do what God says. They begin to serve false gods and idols. God is fed up with their wickedness and their iniquity. It spills over. Then He says, "Hey, I'm telling you right now. I'm getting ready to put you in bondage if you don't straighten up." So they don't listen. So they get put in bondage. So these are the Israelites who are in bondage to the Midianites, and Gideon is a part of this situation now, and the people begin to cry out to God for Him to rescue them, for Him to save them, and He sends them a prophet among them who is Gideon. Now, the people were calling out to God because the Amalekites and the Midianites were torturing, were tearing down anything of progress or anything of success that was happening in the lives of the Israelites. They would tear their crops down. They would burn down their homes. They were just being very antagonistic. Now we have some Amalekites and Midianites. Now the Amalekites were the ones that Saul was supposed to slaughter and kill all of them, and because he didn't, that was the situation that got him the kingdom taken away from him. Then David comes along and runs into the Amalekites, and now we have the Amalekites with Gideon and the Israelites. So the Amalekite spirit is a spirit that runs after you. They take pleasure in messing up any and everything of success that you could possibly have. They don't want to see you succeed. They are there for your destruction. And they just go on and on and on. You know, they continue to stalk you, to play games, to play tricks, and they just don't know when to end. It's an Amalekite spirit. So if you have someone in your life that you're experiencing this, that's what that spirit is. Call it out, pray and fast, ask God to just demolish it and wipe it out. Because we know the loving kind side of God, but there's also a judgment side of God. There's also a side of God that says, I warned you for 20 years. You were continue to do what you wanted to for 30 years. You're going into your 35th year of wickedness, of doing what I've told you not to. I have given you much grace and much mercy, and you still doing and engaging in the same foolishness, ruining other people's lives. And we're gonna stop this. I'm gonna let everybody know. I'm gonna pull your pants down. They're gonna catch you with your pants down, the whole world. I'm gonna let everybody know. So this will be a lesson to any other Amalekites running around with acting like they don't have any sense at all, which they don't. You know, God is extending mercy to you. You can repent at any time. You keep on doing the foolishness, you're getting ready to be destroyed. So there we go. That was just like a sidebar. So anyway, the angel has spoken to Gideon, and Gideon says, God tells him, He says, go in the strength you have and save Israel from the hand of Midian. Have I not sent you? Gideon said, how am I to rescue Israel? Behold, my family is the least significant in Manasseh, and on top of all of that, I am the youngest and the smallest in my father's house. God said, I will certainly be with you. So Gideon saw himself as the weakest member of the family clan. He didn't see himself as a warrior or as a leader. Gideon says, so God tells Gideon, and you will strike down the Midianites as if they were only one man. So may God give us the strength to strike down through prayer anyone, crowd of people, gang stalkers, striking them down as if they were one person. Gideon replied to God, if I have found any favor in your sight, then show me a sign that it is you who speaks with me. Please do not depart from here until I come back to you and bring my offering and place it before you. And he said, I will wait until you return. Yahweh said, God said, I am that I am said, and I will wait until you return. The Spirit of the Lord clothed Gideon and empowered him. God, we thank you for your clothing of empowerment. We can't do anything in and of ourselves, only through you. And he blew a trumpet, and the militia followed Gideon. God told him to tear down the altar of Baal that belongs to your father and cut down the Asherah that is beside it, and build an altar to the Lord your God on top of this mountain. So that was a stronghold. So God basically said, I'm going to deliver you, but you got to bring down all of the strongholds in your life. If you're in need of deliverance, there's strongholds in your life. You got to give up anything that might be contributing to that stronghold so you can have complete and full deliverance. Gideon said, if you are going to rescue Israel, throw me as you have spoke. So Gideon keeps asking God for signs, and God's like, I gave you one sign, I'll give you another sign. Don't keep asking me to give you signs. My patience is running out on you. Now I told you that I was with you and that you could do this. Dig deep. Tighten them boots up. Head on out. Take over this land. I gave it to you. God's like, I am that I am. What you talking about? With me, all things can be accomplished. Stop playing around. All right, this is Dr. Penner Black. Until next time.